y'all. So I am River. I figured I should introduce myself. I don't know. Um, I holding a massive piece of selenite. Um, and I hold on. Okay. I'm trying to get my brain act together. It's fine. So I am a psychic medium. I'm a Slavic practitioner, a forest, a bog witch, um, and yeah, I just wanted to maybe tell y'all a little bit about like my. I'm like super off to the side, but my camera's being very funky today, so that's fun. Um, tell y'all a little bit about like my just like spiritual journey, kind of how I got here. So, I so well, I'm really struggling today, damn. Ow, my neck. It's been a week. All right. So I about let me just my ADHD runs rampant too, so it's just a struggle. Let me just okay. So about 8 months ago, 9 months ago, I don't know. I got out of a relationship that was there's nothing wrong with him. He's a very kind, very good person. Um, but there was something going on with me that I did not like realize. I didn't know what was going on. Um, again, the ADHD brain, I'm gonna like jump back many years to my early teenage years. I like felt a lot. I felt a lot when I was young. And I thought it was all me. Like I thought it was all my emotions. I was like, I thought I was a highly depressed, highly emotional kid. Now knowing like what I know now, I know it wasn't all my emotions that I was feeling, but how could a 13-year-old kid know that? You just think you are feeling everything when really I was feeling my early teenage emotions plus all the other 13-year-olds, all the other middle schoolers who are going through middle school hell, like around me, like I'm feeling all of that, but how do I know that? So I started drinking and using drugs at a pretty young age, and I was in like the grips of an addiction for many, many years, like alcoholism addiction. And I got sober around 23, and was sober for a little while, relapsed, got sober again. So now I've been sober for 7.5 years. Um, and things were really good for a while, and then they started getting weird. Like my emotions were weird. I just didn't know if I would ever kind of be happy. I was like, I think I'm just always kind of just I don't think I'm ever gonna know what like happiness really feels like. Um, and even though I was dating this really great guy, I mean, I was struggling with a lot of health issues, and um, I always just felt like I was really bogged down. Like I was just like getting like shoved down. I don't know. It felt like it was a bad feeling. And then he was getting frustrated. And that makes sense because I couldn't really do much. I mean, I graduated from college and then I just felt like I couldn't get out of bed a lot. I thought maybe I was like struggling with other neurodivergency issues. And I just didn't know what was going on with me. And so I could feel that he was frustrated and he didn't want to talk about it, until, like he would kind of, it would all pile up and eventually he'd talk about it. And I'm like, I know you were feeling that way. I could feel it the second it shifted in you and you wouldn't talk about it right away. And that was frustrating. So, I mean, needless to say, it didn't work out. So I moved home, you know, eventually. And um, then I started feeling other people's emotions. I was like, okay, this is something completely different than I thought it was. Um, I thought this was, just like run of the mill neuro, like divergency, and this is something different. So I started doing a lot of research. I'm a big researcher, and figured out, like maybe I'm an empath. I thought that about myself a long time ago, but a lot of people told me that's not a real thing. And so I dismissed it. And the years of drinking and stuff really dulled a lot of my emotions. Like they helped with that. And not saying that's a good thing. Obviously, it was a very bad thing, and it was a very bad period of my life. But now I was like, okay, now I'm feeling a lot. So um, I figured out I was clairsentient, and some other clairs. Ooh, my Amazon package. Some other, some other, clairs as well, like clairsentient, claircognizant. Those were like my main things. I started meditating a lot, where in the past I was like, I can't meditate, which is, a lot of us like might say like we can't meditate, but it's not true. It became like one of my favorite things, and it helped me so much. Helped me like crawl out of this, like I was basically in like just being bogged down spiritually, because I was getting all of these like spiritual messages that I just was not listening to. I was listening to my intuition, and I call it my fear-based logic. And I tell that to a lot of people I do like readings for, or people I talk to. It's like when we like ignore our intuition and we just like listen to that fear-based logic, because logic is fine and great to listen to, like, but when it's fear-based logic, not the best. Um, and that's what I was in a lot. Like I would get an intuitive message and I'd be like, there's no way that's going to be accurate. So instead, I'm going to go with this thing I'm going to think about forever and ever, and then to go with that choice, even though it's probably wrong. And I was in that for a long time. And after starting on this like spiritual journey and um, meditating a lot, at this point I've been meditating. I meditate every single day. Um, it helps me a lot. It helps me like get all that kind of like noise out and like process it and understand what's going on. Um, I like have finally been able to experience joy, and I feel like possibly for the first time in my life, which is really really cool. I don't know, because I'm like, I don't think I've ever felt this feeling before. Okay, so um essentially I started doing a bunch of research and figuring out like, okay, what does this really mean for me? I bought an oracle deck. Well, first I bought a tarot deck, realized I don't really vibe with tarot. I tried to learn it, it didn't really work for me. Um, and then I bought an oracle deck and I was like, I love this. This is how like I feel intuitively connected to these. And then I bought more and more and more as time has gone on, and now I have a lot. And um, I also have just finished my bone throwing kit. Was my osteomancy kit. God, I really struggle to say that. Um, and I think I can. Here, let's see. Hold on. Okay, so here are some of my oracle decks, and then the other ones are in my bag for work. And then my osteomancy kit is in this little container. Okay, so yeah, I went to a lot of, not a lot, I went to a handful of psychic development groups as well. I got a it's like a spiritual mentor as well, and worked with him for a little bit as well to like um, work on my mediumship because I just felt like intuitively felt like that's something that I was connected to. Like I'm very drawn to both like I'm like in between like light and dark and like life and death, rebirth, and that like cyclical thing. The thing, I don't know. It's and so we worked on mediumship, and since it was a little kind of, I've always okay, wow. I haven't really struggled with like connection with like guides and stuff when I do readings for others. It's never been like that. And sometimes spirits will come through, spirits of like family members, ancestors, because I also um, did a lot of um, ancestral work. I started looking into Slavic paganism and stuff like that because my family all comes from the Soviet Union. I'm half Ukrainian, half Russian, and also some Polish. So um, it's I don't really know how I got to that, but I think like looking at myself distracts me is the problem. But I feel like if I look off to the side, that's going to be distracting for y'all. You're gonna be like, what's she looking at? Um, so I need to keep myself on track. Anyway, since summer solstice, I like my mediumship has just like I've been like a little antenna. My mediumship has been like whoosh, like taken off crazy, like insane. I don't know why, but like the spirits have been knocking during readings at work. Like family members have just been coming through. I've been like getting messages from them a lot more clearly, and I don't offer like up myself up as a medium, like or as like I guess I am a medium of sorts, but like not as like one that can communicate with family members just because it's not foolproof for me. It's not all the time yet. And so I just don't want to make any promises to people that like, hey, yes, I will for sure be able to contact like any family members or any people because that's not what I always do. Like I sometimes but I do tell people sometimes if family members do come through, like if you want a message from them, if they give me one, like let me know. Some people don't want to hear from whoever comes through, so I'm like very like open and honest about that. I'm like, hey, like um and also I ask like, do you want complete like brutal honesty or about like what I get from your guides and everything, or do you want like a little bit of sugar on top? I'm never gonna lie or pull anything out of my ass though. That's just not it. I really don't like when people do that during readings. I think it's doing a disservice not only to the person who you're doing the reading for, but I think it's doing a disservice to the people who are like delivering the message, you know? Like considering like I'm literally just this has nothing to do with me, I'm like a carrier service. It's as if like your postal man decided not to give you your mail. I don't know. So, I don't know. That's how I feel. I feel like it's to be like I should always be completely honest, but some people want it to be like delivered a little bit nicer. And sometimes I'm a little blunt, so I'm like, do you want me to be completely blunt and completely honest with what comes through? So that's what I always ask. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. That's how my brain works. It's like this tab, this tab, this tab, this tab. Um, but yeah, also I recently got my first like attachment. So that was fun. Things were started going a little weird and a little funky. I do collect some haunted dolls, but it had nothing to do with them. It actually had to do with um I was speaking with some spirits and One of them was a little bit more negative, but when I was doing like some divination with my bone throwing, like with my osteomancy kit, I found out it actually was like a non-human entity of some sort that presents itself as like a female. I don't really want to go too much into it, but like, um, so that was interesting to find out because I didn't get too much information on like who I thought was that spirit. I just knew that they were very angry and I got really bad energy every time I was like in that area from that what I thought was just just an angry low frequency spirit. So I spent a lot of last night trying to clear that energy with the help of my ancestors and with some protection stuff. So that was fun. Um, I do also, I'm certified in Reiki level 1, so I did that like during these months. And so I mostly just used that for myself. And also in like identifying if there's anything like off with like the energy with like in during readings I can see if there's anything off with people. I can also read auras. Um, and that's also just feels very much attached as well with it's interesting to be able to see the chakra, like kind of like the chakra system and relate that to like how I can also see the colors of the auras because I'm like, oh, it's interesting, like just relating it color wise sometimes when like if their auras like certain or if their chakra, certain chakras like chakra systems are like off, the energy is off there, how the aura might be a little off. So yeah, there's a lot. My brain kind of trying to like remember all this stuff, but I feel like I've done quite a bit over the past like 8 or 9 months. So let me know if y'all have any questions or you want to know anything. Or I know I did a video with Anna, my haunted doll. I also just got another one. Um, he comes with a companion, and they're actually Raggedy Ann dolls, but it's actually Raggedy Andy that's the haunted one. So um, let me know if you guys have any questions or you want to know anything else. So thank you. Oh, also, like, subscribe, and comment. Okay, thanks.